So because my life has become kind of interesting lately, camera stand. Because my life has become kind of interesting lately, I am going to have to be doing film days instead of filming the day of something. I'll have to film everything probably on a Saturday. So that's what this is. So you're going to see me looking the same in the same lighting for the next few videos. That's why. So I want to talk about being called Satan, or being called God, or being called Lucifer, because I study philosophy. It's an interesting thing. I'm not the greatest philosopher in the world. I'm just not. I wish I was. I study a lot of philosophy. So I'm not coming at this in an arrogant kind of way. But when you study philosophy and you start talking actual religious history, you'll get two very interesting comments. And I've gotten them both, and I've gotten them multiple times from multiple people. Religious people will call me Satan. It's happened under some of these videos. A lot of times this happens with the Catholic Church, where Protestants, especially evangelicals and people who call themselves non-Protestants, even though they are directly Protestant, they will directly call Catholics Satan, Lucifer, agents of Satan, although I've never been called an agent of anything. But people will say that online and in person. They'll say it directly to your face. And then you just open up the Bible, show them the passage, and then they get all flustered. Because like, the Bible can't say that. And you even have some conspiracy people calling it the Mandela effect, which is just stupid. But you know these people. They're the most popular Christian YouTubers. They're the most popular Christians on YouTube. It isn't EWTN. It isn't James White. Those aren't the most popular. No, it's the Flockbox or whatever. It's Rachel Steffens. It's what used to be the Vigilant Christian. It's the Vigilant Vlog. You know, the Illuminati, the Truthers, the Exposers, the Nut Bars. These are the people. And if you tell them actual historical fact, they'll say that you yourself are actually Satan. You're actually Lucifer in disguise, trying to tempt them to think of all things. And as a philosopher, you run into that a lot. Well, they're scared of philosophy. Well, then they're scared of truth and facts. So they become scared of science. It becomes this whole thing. And you see this even with some of the better apologists out there. A lot of them will be scared of actual history, actual science, such as evolution. Not understanding developing theories, not understanding what the word theory even means in a scientific sense. So, whatever. But then you get the other end, which is atheists. And these kind of atheists, I'm going to call them weak atheists. These are the spiritualists. These are the people who believe in magic and demons and all that, but they don't believe in a higher deity. They will go the opposite route. If you make a direct statement that has definitive proof and that has truth behind it, they'll call you God. They'll say, "Are you God? How can you know that? If you're not God, how can that possibly be true? You must be God if you know that." Now, this direct accusation is not the same one as a super over-religious zealot calling you Satan. It's not the same, obviously. Here, there's a little touch of irony and a little touch of resentment when a spiritual atheist calls you God. Obviously, they don't actually think you're the actual God. They're saying that only God could know such a thing, but they'll take it pretty far in their commentary, in their reasoning. They'll call, for instance, with me, if I make a moral choice that they themselves can't make, they'll say something like, "Oh, you're so strong. I could never be as strong as you. I could never do that." And they'll say it with all, in all truth and in all honesty. That they're not being sarcastic here. They're just like, I could never make such a moral decision as that. I could never be that ethical. I can't do that. I'd give in to temptation. I don't know how it's possible. I don't know how you're even human that you can do such a thing. And when you get confronted by that on the atheist side, there's only one answer, which is, well, I have faith and I believe, and I'm not perfect. I mess up too, but in this one instance, I did the right thing. It becomes that kind of thing. And then it becomes the whole problem of hypocrisy, where they try to get you on something that you messed up in the past, or when you make a new mistake, so they say, "Well, you're such a good person. How can you do this?" And it's like, because we're human. We make mistakes, right? So what do we do about that? How do we as philosophers, especially those and scientists, handle the fact that we're also believers? Now, this is an interesting conundrum, because there are atheists who will call you dishonest if you're a scientist and a believer. Even if you're a philosopher, they will say, how can you be so intellectually dishonest to know all these facts and still believe in a God? Well, if you watch my Epictetus videos, a video coming up is going to answer that directly, which is where Epictetus actually talks about the 5 kinds of beliefs. And he starts off with atheists and agnostics, and he gets down to 3 types of religious beliefs after that. There's 5 of them, and that's pretty good and interesting. But how do I handle those accusations? I usually just laugh it off by saying I'm not God, but I believe in God. And for those who say that I'm Satan, I simply tell them I'm not. I say I believe in God, I worship God, and I just follow the Bible, and I read what it actually says, and I also understand apostolic succession and the way that works. So I usually just say, for a simpler answer, I just go, I read a lot. So anyway, please like and subscribe. I hope that was helpful. I hope you enjoy this. Talk to you later.